INFJ or ESTP, red or green, steady or influential, dominant or an explorer, negotiator or builder. You might have taken a personality test hoping to learn something about yourself, and hopefully you did. I think personality tests can be a great way to explore and learn things about yourself. The problem with these descriptions, though, is that they can become quite one-dimensional once you start applying them to understand the entirety of your life, your relationships, your work, and everything that you do. And it can be tempting to want to have this one-size-fits-all personality, this guideline, this book you can follow for advice on how to act, what kind of a person to be, what kind of choices to make in regards to who you should date, who your friend should be, what work you should do, and ultimately how you should live your life. The hope then is that for many people, if I can find my personality type, I can find the answer to all the questions. And so the study of self and the study of personality is often kind of correlated with the ultimate question: why am I here and for what purpose do I exist? Now, not knowing your personality in that regard can feel like an identity crisis. It can feel as if your entire world crumbles. You have no solid foundation to stand on. You don't know if you are happy in your relationship. You don't know if you're at the right job. You don't know if you're in the right place or city. You might live feeling like everything is ambivalent, every choice you make is up to doubt and question, and you hope perhaps that one day you'll find that answer, that one answer that will fit in all situations. But personality is not one size fits all. Personality categories and classification systems are one-dimensional when you are three-dimensional at least, perhaps even four-dimensional. Because you have a personality that will change over time, I like to say that my personality cannot be confined to any one personality type. Some might say I'm an ENTP, and they might say that, hey, he works in IT, it fits, he's creative, got lots of ideas, good at thinking of solutions. Other people might say, yeah, no, he's a classic INFJ, he's a person that's introspective, wise, thoughtful, and empathetic towards other people. And another person might say that, no, I think he's more of an ESFJ. He's very social, open to talk with other people. He always treats people as humans. And, you know, with all of these things, you captured a part of my personality, a part of the descriptions. But the problem with descriptions is that descriptions never capture the core of something. We use descriptions not to define the essence of what red is. We use descriptions to describe what red looks like to another person so that another person might recognize it. The nature of a person remains a mystery, remains something unknown. A personality is an adjective. It's not a what a person is. It's a what a person looks like they are. And so when you study personality, you're kind of engaged with a kind of superficial pursuit because you're trying to understand yourself based on what you look like, or you're trying to understand other people based on what they appear to be, based on how your interactions look and how you engage with each other's, your connections, like how you know the person, what role they have in your life. Are they an antagonist or a protagonist? Are they a positive influence or a negative influence? Are they a manager to you, or are they a person under you in the hierarchy? Are they a family member? All these things infect how you look at them. And so I find that the study of personality, it has the promise of helping you connect more with other people, but it also has the possibility of making you more disconnected from other people. Ultimately, nobody likes to be labeled, so when you tell a person that, oh, you seem like a classic introvert or you seem like a classic extrovert, you're kind of putting them in the box. And there is something I call suggestive psychology, which is a little bit akin to the study of hypnosis, which is when we suggest something to somebody. And when we suggest something to somebody, the power of suggestion is very, very important because it actually can, like magic, make a person change who they are to fit your expectations and desires. Most people will subtly compromise themselves to fit in, meaning that if you put a job description telling you that you're supposed to be a manager and you're supposed to be decisive, direct, and open to make decisions, you'll take on that characteristic. You'll be the manager. You'll change your personality to fit that role. Well, I'll tell you that actually you don't have to confine yourself to other people's expectations. I've found a way to be myself in every situation of my life, and I think all my friends, my colleagues, and my manager and my family members, they can all say that they know who I am, not because of any like specific trait that I exhibit. They would not say, yeah, he's a classic IT architect, or he's a classic psychologist, or he's a classic YouTuber. Not that. That's not how people know me. People know me by my spirit, which shows up in every single situation. You might say that the source of a person remains the same, even if the form can take many different forms. I am like water, and so are you. Essentially, water is shapeless. Water can fill out any form, can take on any role. You have an infinite number of potential possibilities to what kind of a person you can be and how you could act in different situations. Every single day you wake up, you have a choice. What kind of a person am I going to be today? How am I going to show up to other people? And what kind of a person am I going to be? And you get to make those decisions depending on how you feel. Most of the time, an authentic person makes decisions based on what feels most natural and most authentic to them. That doesn't mean that you act the same in every single day. Having a consistent personality is not the same as having an authentic personality. Just because you show up the same every day, dress the same every day, look the same every day, does not mean that you're living an authentic life or that you feel self-actualized or fulfilled. No, you only feel fulfilled if you do what feels ultimately right to you, and finding out what's right to you is as simple as asking yourself a question, a yes or no question. Is this what I want to do today? Is this right? Does this feel like who I am? Does this feel like it fits me? And that decision can change in every situation, because your personality molds itself to its environment and the world around you. And so the question or the answer depends on the question, essentially. When you're with certain people, you might choose to show up a certain way, or if you're feeling a certain way, or if you're doing a certain activity or engaging with a specific hobby, you might change how you appear because that feels right to you in that specific situation. That's still authentic to you as long as you feel like that is who you are. The problem with the personality description, like if you Google personality description of an INFJ or an ESTP, you'll find this very, very simple truth. And that is that, yeah, this is me, but only in this and that situation. Only when I'm like this, or only when I feel like that, or only with these kind of people. And that's how personality often works. What we call the Thor effect is this. People will find and want to agree with you. Most people are inclined to want to agree with you, and they will, when they read something, they will want to find a meaningful interpretation of what you say. So even if what you say is not true, or it's only true in a certain situation, people will find that specific situation where it is true, and they will ignore everything else because they want to find a meaningful way of understanding the world. Our desire for things to make sense and to be meaningful becomes like a bias here. But the ultimate truth remains, I find, that when people say they know what personality type they are, I find that they don't really know who they are. But when people say they don't know what personality type they are, I find that people demonstrate genuine understanding of who they are. Because you're, of course, not any specific personality type. And the person that can say, I don't know what personality type I am, that person is the closest to knowing and understanding that, well, actually, I'm a complex person that can take on many different roles. And the most important question here is, do I feel like my work, my relationships, my life is an accurate reflection of who I am as a person? And do I feel like I show up at my work, in my relationships, in my life, honestly and authentically as who I am? Am I trying to make decisions based on what is the smartest, most efficient, what aligns most with social expectations and norms, or what would make me rich the fastest, or would make me successful or popular, in my opinion? Or am I doing what I feel is right? If I do what I feel is right, I'm more likely to be successful because I'm living life in accordance with my own intrinsic definition of success. I'm not living according to anyone else's opinion about what success is. I'm living according to what my definition of success is, which is being successful in living and actualizing myself in any given moment or time. So that's the goal, and I wonder, how are you feeling about that? Do you feel like you are living authentically as you are? Do you feel like when you go to work today, that you are going to show up as who you are. People often say, what work is right for me? And I want to leave you with one last tidbit. Maybe you can be yourself at any work. Maybe you can be who you are, no matter if you're a manager, no matter if you're working with garbage recollection or recycling, no matter if you're working as a dentist or wherever you are, you can be yourself, because it only takes a matter of showing up and being human, being authentic. That's the goal to finding success and happiness in any given moment, no matter where you are or what you're doing. And if you master that, well, that's when you become self-actualized.